Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Heather Frierson, and I'm your host of the Business Spotlight podcast. And today I have Ryan Atkinson, founder of Spacebar Visuals. And we're going to be talking about his journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and really just share a sneak peek of what it's like to own and operate a business. So if this is your first time to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get a notification every time a new show drops, just like this one. Well, Ryan, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Super excited to be here. Super excited to chat with you and the audience. So yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, more importantly.
Of course, you're welcome. Well, if you could I would love for you to just to give us a little bit of background about yourself, who you are, and about Spacebar Visuals.
Yeah, happy to. Well, I'm Ryan Atkinson, the founder and CEO of Spacebar Visuals. At our core, we create explainer videos, product demos, customer testimonials, event videos, investor videos for SaaS companies. I've been doing it now. I passed a full time of entrepreneurship in November. And we're coming up on about 2 years of running Spacebar Visuals. So 25-year-old entrepreneur based in Austin, Texas. I have had the thrill and to ride the highs and the very lows of entrepreneurship. So yeah, it's Spacebar Visuals I absolutely love. It does come with the challenge. I'm excited to talk with you and the audience about that today as well.
Yeah. I love that you said 2 years in, 25 years old, and you're already really just taking the journey, and you've probably already learned so
Oh yeah.
much. I mean, entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart, for sure. So tell us then what brought you to this place to even launch a company like Spacebar?
Yeah. So entrepreneurship has like always been in my blood. My stepdad owns a flooring company. My mom owns her own hair salon. My dad does a bunch of like Airbnb renting out type of stuff. So I grew up with very entrepreneurial parents,
Mhm.
and I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, even from the age of like 17, 18, etc.
Wow.
Went to school. I studied at the University of Iowa. I did a double major in management with an entrepreneurship focus, and then did marketing with an analytics focus. So I always knew I wanted to do it. I
Mhm.
remember I was like 21 years old interning for an AI company. And this was before AI was even like a hot term by any
Uh,
means. And it got to like the end of the internship, and they basically kind of like let me go, fire me. Maybe they weren't in the best position, but they're like, we wanted someone that is more entrepreneurial. And like me, I'm like, oh my gosh, that like it like kind of puts a fire in you. And I remember writing down in my journals, like, start building now. By the time you're 25, like you'll be an entrepreneur. Like by 25, like quit your job, be full-time entrepreneur. So one thing kind of led to the nether, did a bunch of freelancing on Upwork, tried a few side projects, and eventually landed on Spacebar Visuals when I was 23 years old. Um, got our first client when I just turned 24 years old, did it for about 8 months on the side. And like I said, then I quit and have been doing it now for about a year full
so
time.
you were able to quit your full-time job after launch within a year of launching Spacebar.
Yep. So yeah, I basically about 8 months, and it leads up to that process and how I tell every entrepreneur. And I know you guys already have an entrepreneurial audience, but if you are thinking about like quitting your job, advice that I
Mhm.
always give people is like build out a plan. Like, what does success actually look like? What are 3 variables that you need to hit on for you to actually feel comfortable to quit your job? For me, it was replace my full-time income with Spacebar Visuals. Check. Have an X amount of money in my savings account. Hit that. Buy a MacBook because I needed a computer. So that was like another simple one. So those are my 3 variables to hit. I hit them, and like a month later, I was putting in my 2 weeks. So build out that plan when you are thinking about quitting your company. It makes it much easier to actually measure success and know when to jump.
That's such great advice because not everybody does that. And
Hmm.
either one, they quit too early, or two, they don't have a plan. So it drags on and on.
Exactly. Yeah. It was for me, it was like I always knew I wanted to be like have my own company. And so it literally got to the point where I built out that plan. It's like, well, it's now or never, honestly. Like if I don't do this while I'm single, no kids, don't have a mortgage, like I'm never going to do it. So came my time to officially jump in. Yeah, jumped and have been loving it.
That's amazing. And that's true. Like it's so important to do what you can when you can. And
Mhm.
so amazing. So what does spacebar mean? Where did that name come from?
Yeah, so my co-founder actually runs like a few different companies. Our parent company, I guess you could say, is called Spacebar Ventures.
Mhm.
And it's basically a hold co. So he has like 8 different companies he works with, he co-founds. So Spacebar Visuals, honestly, just a company under the Spacebar Ventures name. Fun branding. Didn't want to really reinvent the wheel, so Spacebar Visuals is what we came up with.
So you have kind of a co-partner here. It's not just you alone. Obviously, we can't do things alone. What
Yeah.
does your team structure look like?
Yeah, so it's me. I'm like the CEO of it, and then I also have my co-founder, and he's honestly like an advisor for us. He's not totally in like the day-to-day operations. I meet
Mhm.
with him weekly. I talk to him daily, just go over like business plan stuff, how we can always be tinkering stuff, etc. And then we have one salesperson on our team. He's like an SDR for us, doing top of the funnel leads. We have two account managers, customer success people to project manage like all of our video projects, and then we have a whole design team in Eastern Europe. So in total there's about like 10 of us or so, yeah, in total on the team.
That's incredible that you built such an incredible brand in just 2 years. How, when you look back at the past 2 years, one, how does it make you feel that
Mm,
you've accomplished so much? And really, for our listeners, what are the challenges that you really had to overcome?
yeah. um it is tough. Like entrepreneurship is by far the hardest thing, and I'm sure your listeners can resonate with this as well. It is like the hardest thing I've ever done. Like there are
Mhm.
so many different variables that you have to get right. You're always having to pull different levers. It's like the ultimate like personal development journey.
Yes.
um some things that I'm like super happy we've accomplished is like we hit six figures in a year. I think that's a very big accomplishment, especially
Mhm.
for my first company ever to hit six figures, low six figures in about a year time frame. But honestly, just like staying in the game, it is so easy every day to get just beat down by the challenges of entrepreneurship, always
Mhm.
putting out fires, always like kind of like doubting yourselves. Like, am I the right person for this? Being 25 years old, I know I'm 100% away. I'm so far away from being like a perfect CEO business owner. I'm so far away. So you just take so many punches. And I think honestly, like what I'm most proud of is like I stayed in the game. It's so easy to quit, especially when things get hard. Entrepreneurship is not perfect. You will have those incredible lows, but staying in the game, just being super resilient when it comes to entrepreneurship, is something that I'm honestly probably most proud of.
Yeah. I love that accomplishment. And it's so encouraging because you have to stay in the game, like you said, and be
Hmm.
consistent, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, 100%. You have to stay in the game to be consistent. And honestly, the past like month has been kind of a mindset shift for me. And I would encourage all your listeners to take that as well. It's when a problem like arises, instead of being stressed about it right away.
Mhm.
I can get stressed very easily. Like stressed about it right away, where it's like, oh my God, like I don't know how I'm going to figure this out. Like this is so hard. Like, why am I doing this? I've now shifted my mindset to being like, you know what? Like, thank you for this opportunity. I don't even know who I'm saying thank you to. Like, thank you to God for like this opportunity to like overcome this challenge, to get better from this, to like learn from this. And it just makes the problem like way more achievable to get over. So that's been a mindset shift for me. Instead of being like, oh my gosh, this is a big problem. How am I going to do that? Switching
Mhm.
it to like, you know what? Like, I'm actually grateful for this opportunity to like be able to figure this out. That has been really big for me.
Yeah. I, there's so many questions going through my head right now
Yeah.
because you've done, it's so quick. And I think that's what just keeps resonating with me is that things have happened so quickly for you. And so when you step back and really look at the landscape, this is what I'm trying to get to. What are the things that you feel like worked in your favor to accomplish things so
Mm.
quickly? And what are the things that you would go back and say, this I would change or kind of hindered us a little bit?
Yeah, I think what was really beneficial for me starting this is that I came from like a sales and marketing background,
Mhm.
and that was manufactured intentionally. Um, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur by 25. So when I was looking for jobs right out of college, I wanted a sales role because I wanted to learn how do I sell appropriately? How do I, it's the lifeblood of your company. How do I sell? And I also wanted marketing experience. So I left HubSpot, which is a phenomenal sales program, to do a marketing role just to learn marketing
Wow.
itself. So I think that was something that was kind of a great manufactured process for me to learn marketing and sales to start a company, because that is truly like the lifeblood of a company. So I think that has worked really well. Things I would change on the past is I wish I was way better at like financial management. It has been a master class for me to like learn how to cash flow like appropriately, how to get invoices, accounts receivable, ensuring like paychecks don't bounce by any means. I'm learning it every day. I'm reading Financial Intelligence for Entrepreneurs right now as a book, and that's been a great resource for me. So I think a strength I had coming in this was sales and marketing. A weakness looking back on it that I'm now improving on is just like CFO work, honestly, like just becoming better at that.
Mhm.
That is just, I'm not a math person. So it's been a challenge to learn, but again, I'm grateful for the opportunity to
Yeah.
learn it.
Well, and I've been doing this for a while and I hear so many stories. And lots of times the founder is really not the financial person, right? You're the idea person, you're the
Yeah,
creator. And so it's important to learn those things and bring people alongside of you that
100%.
are better than you. So you talked about marketing. That was something that you really wanted to learn and got good at. So with something like Spacebar that does video and production, that's really probably helps other companies with their marketing,
Mhm.
if you will. How do you guys market yourself? What does that look like?
Yeah. So our process, an idea that came to me before we started Spacebar Visuals, my old company that I was working, Lumion was the marketing position I had with this company. We worked with a video production team, but they were like, you guys need to do the script. You guys need to do the voiceover. Like, we'll just handle the animations. And so a pain point that we hit on is every time we have a conversation with marketer, we take a deep breath and we're like, who we work best with is small marketing teams, where it's like one or two people. You have 30,000 things you can be doing: paid ads, social media posts, SEO, reporting, meetings. You want to do video, but you just don't have the time or the resources.
Mhm.
So our value proposition is truly like, we handle the script writing for you, we handle the storyboard for you, we handle the animation for you, and we handle the voiceover for you. So it's a super hands-off process for these marketers to be able to then post it on their website, social media, campaigns, YouTube, like anywhere you can imagine video. That's our real value proposition is it's a process that's done for you, because we know how busy marketers are.
Do you do the voiceover? Because I'm about to say you have a good voiceover.
I do not do the voiceover personally. I do appreciate that, but no, we have a team, people based in like Colorado, California, and so one in
Got
New
it.
Jersey as well. But I do not do it. But I appreciate that. Thank you.
So, what kind of clients do you serve? Tell us, you might have some clients listening potentially. Who is your target market that you love helping?
Yeah. So we work best. We have worked with the AWSs. We have worked with Vanta. We have worked with the International Standards Organization. We've even made a video for the U.S. Army. They're all great clients. Who we best serve, though, are truly like 1 to 50 person, 1 to 50 person teams, I guess. So up to about 50 employees, 100 employees, that have smaller teams that just want to do video, but just don't have the time or the resources for it. So that's really like who we serve best, or
Yeah.
smaller teams that want video.
And what does that process look like when you have a new client and the intake? What is that process like?
Yeah. So we try to have it be as seamless and as like communicative as possible. But yeah, basically it starts from like an intake brief where you're like, hey, this is the video we want to do. And then we will do the script writing in about 3 to 5 days. We'll then do the storyboard in about 7 to 10 days, and the animation and voiceover in about 4 to 5 days. So in total, it's about a month-long process that we see, with just existing clients. So yeah, it's kind of month-long process with us handling each step along the way.
Yeah. I want to transition a little bit to leadership. You
Yeah.
talked a little bit about that, especially with it being such a new, I should say, CEO. How would you describe your leadership style and how has it evolved in the last
Yeah.
couple of years?
Yeah. It's a great question. I would, I'm a pretty hands off on, I'm honestly pretty hands off. I will give you like feedback. But at the end of the day, like, we hire people and I'm going to give you trust and the ability
Mm,
to learn and make mistakes along me as well. If I do see something's not working, that's when I'm going to step in and be like, hey, like, we need to be doing it this way. But overall, I'm pretty hands off. I'll talk with our team daily. I'll meet with them once a week, just so they know they have that they have that support. I'm
yeah.
definitely not a leader that is like harsh. Like, I've yelled at an employee once when I was managing a pool back when I was like 19 years old. But like, I try to come to situations calm, understanding, like try to see their perspective. I want to be a leader where if you tell
Mm,
me your goals, we have some interns on our team. If you tell me your goals, what are your long-term goals? I'm going to try and help and get you there. So I try to be a very empathetic leader, I'd say, that loves to see them develop professionally, but also personally as well. And that has definitely evolved. I think leadership styles are always changing just as you get older. You learn a thing or two, catch up on a thing or two. So yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
in a year my answer will be totally different.
Yeah. Well, how do you, when you have a new team member come on, whether it be an intern or anything like that, what systems do you have in place to train and develop them so that Spacebar has that longevity?
Yeah. It's something again that like it needs to be better. The system that we do have in place here, like I said before, like I am not a perfect CEO by any means. I'm
Who
mindful of
is?
that, but yeah, like who is? But like the system that we have in place is we have like if they join like our sales team, let's say we have like a
Mhm.
whole like 20-page PowerPoint going over like here's our ICP, here's common messaging, here's who we best serve, here's your goals, just kind of aligning them on expectations, who we best serve. We give them like a company overview, examples, and then we also bring them on sales call from like day one. Like we have a sales call, they join on Monday, we have a sales call on Wednesday. Like they're going to be on that call just so they're working right besides me. Like I need our sales team to be all lined up together, like not all over the place. So
Yeah.
we try to get them as hands-on experience. Like I said, we'll have them develop sequence for us. I'll walk them through like this is why this doesn't work. This is why it does work. So try to be hands-on, especially in those first like 2 to 3 months that they're on the team.
That's awesome. I think it's so important to have a developmental and training process for
100%.
any organization. Otherwise, you're just spinning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spinning. So when you look at Spacebar from like you step back, not even from a CEO perspective, but you step back, where do you see yourself landing as a owner of a business?
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Well, you're probably right now wearing a lot of hats, I'm assuming,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
even though you've got a great team. But as an owner, you're probably a visionary as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when you can envision the future, where do you see yourself kind of landing where you've got your stride and you're like, this is really where I want to be as it pertains to Spacebar Company?
Yeah. So with Spacebar Visuals, I think one of the biggest things that we're going to be doing in 2025 is changing like our business model, like completely almost not completely, but just changing how pricing is and changing instead of doing project based work where every
Mm.
month, no matter how good or how bad the month is, you start out $0. Again, you're just continuously building. So we have some additional lines of revenue, I guess, or offerings that we're going to include with some of our packages. Um, I think getting that to a consistent $20,000 a month where it's a subscription based, like you pay for one video a month and you get 5 newsletter slots. That's kind of our biggest thing now. We're starting some
Mhm.
media brands to pair with video so we can be like more of a top of funnel agency. So if we can get like that newsletter subscription based package, so it's $20,000 a month, it'd just make it so much easier on my stress levels and being able to grow, reinvest in the company
Yeah.
and layer on that newsletter with that video package. I think is a killer 1-2 punch that we're super excited for. So
Mhm.
within 12 months, next December, I'm hoping I can say we have done $20,000 continuously MRR on newsletters, and then also layer on videos for an additional get to like
Yeah.
$50,000 a month.
It's getting that passive income, right? That just keeps coming in.
Exactly.
So important. I know.
Yeah,
I
it's
believe you can do it for sure.
I
I mean,
appreciate that.
you've already done so much in 2 years that I believe next year you're gonna have to come back and tell us where you are now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great initiative for us. Yeah, we're instead of just being a complete video marketing agency, we're really gonna position ourselves as like a top of the funnel agency where we're providing videos and newsletter slots to companies. We're really, really excited about the push on that because we have some team members. Even my co-founder has launched like some very successful newsletters. So confident we think about our strengths. That'll be a strength that we have going into 2025. I'm so excited for it.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
I have it
awesome.
haven't done it successful yet, so give us some
Yeah.
time.
We believe in you. You said it out loud. It's here. We
Yeah, I
believe in
love
you.
it. Manifest it.
What keeps you motivated from day to day? Like what's
I
your
think
why in it all besides being an
yeah,
entrepreneur? What's your big why?
yeah, I mean, just like being able to provide and live the lifestyle that I want to live. I got into entrepreneurship to work when I want, where I want, with who I want. It's my 3 W's that I always talk about. That's honestly why it goes back. Like it's just so hard to imagine me going back to like a corporate gig where like I have some like a boss or anything like that. There's not saying I can't be led, but like I'm just saying it would be just
Sure.
be very hard. I think entrepreneurs will resonate with this. That psyche of
Yeah.
like an entrepreneur is just very hard. So yeah, that's honestly what keeps me going and just like provide a lifestyle that makes me available to work when, where, and with who I want.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of the motivation behind a lot of entrepreneurs. Like you said, it's not the inability to learn because you
Mhm.
obviously are learning a ton.
Yeah,
But it's just the way we're wired.
exactly. Yeah, it's I just don't think I could go back. I think a lot of your listeners can resonate that
For
where
sure.
once you experience that taste of entrepreneurship, get that belief in you that you can build a company. I don't know if it is
Yeah.
possible to go back.
Yeah. Well, those are some big goals we've talked about. So, and that's always interesting to me, especially as we come to the end of the year. What is your approach to goal setting?
Oh, I love goal setting. It's actually so once I'm done with the financial intelligence for entrepreneurship book, I'm reading Measure What Matters by John Doerr, I believe. Doerr,
Mm,
something like that. But I'm a really big proponent in goal setting. I have goal set for basically every month, and we review those goals weekly on our calls. So we have like a weekly team meeting on Mondays where we go over here's what we're at for closed revenue, here's how many calls we made, here's how many emails we sent, our customer profitability for each project, here's what it's at. So that's really has been like good for us is just set those goals, identify your North Star, reverse engineer
mm.
backwards to break it down like how much do I need in revenue per month, and then build from there and review those weekly. I'm a very big proponent of goal setting professionally and personally as well.
I'm writing that down. You said identify North Star and then reverse engineer.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So if your goal is $100,000 in revenue a month, divide that by 12, whatever that, like I said, I'm not great
Yeah.
with numbers, whatever that is, then just, every month, you need to be hitting.
Yeah. I love that. It's so important. So you may have already said it with what you're going to do in 2025, but can you share a big goal you have for next year?
Yeah, a big goal for next year. Like we would love to cross like the $400,000 revenue mark. I think that'd be amazing growth for us. A huge key for that is going to be that subscription based business because once you build
Mhm.
that, the newsletter on top of the video, I think that's going to be an amazing 1-2 punch for us and consistently like deliver value for clients. I think it's a no brainer for us to add to our service offering. So I'm super, super excited what we can do with that.
That's awesome. What about 3 to 5 years? Where do you
3 to 5
see? Yeah.
yeah. Within 5 years, by like 2030, the ideal scenario would be to sell Spacebar Visuals. Of course, there's a lot of economic factors on that, et cetera. I'm mindful of that. But yeah, within 5 years, definitely sell Spacebar Visuals. I'm a type 1 diabetic, so I've always wanted to like build some sort of company in the diabetic space, like some sort of like diabetic analytics company, I think is kind of what I'm eyeing already. So get some money from Spacebar Visuals and bootstrap that company. That's kind of how I'm parlaying this together.
Yeah, that's super interesting. So that is a big goal. Wait, and
Yeah.
if you sell in 2025, that's literally only, I mean, 2030, that's literally only 7 years that you
hmm
would have had to be. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely the goal. We definitely have some milestones to hit for that to happen. And
Yeah.
I'm mindful of that. It is all about the process when it comes to that. But
That's so cool.
hit our goals, do what we can to do it.
Yeah. I love it. Well, I could talk about this all day. I love your story. But how about we get into some fun rapid fire questions?
Love it. Let's do it.
All right. What is the key to success for you?
Mm, I'd say consistency, but of course, I'm also going to say like having a good morning routine, taking care of myself, like personally, mentally, health wise, but overall, just
Yeah.
consistency is the overarching word.
I love that. It's good. I hear that a lot, and it's so true. All right. What is your one piece of advice for other business owners?
One piece of advice. Don't quit no matter how hard it gets, because it is going to get really hard. Um, Go back to your why. Don't quit. The only way you can lose is quitting. So don't quit.
Mhm.
Stay resilient. Learn how to take the punches and keep going.
It's good. All right. You've already mentioned a couple books, but currently, podcast or book, what are you reading or listening to?
Book wise, I'm reading Financial Intelligence for Entrepreneurs. Podcast wise, besides this podcast, of course,
Of
I
course.
listen. Of course, I actually host the Upflip podcast where we interview like service-based companies, like home service-based companies. That's a phenomenal resource for people that want to start a company in a little bit of a less sexy way. But
What is the
yeah,
name again?
Upflip.
Upflip.
Yep.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, phenomenal YouTube channel as well. Definitely go check out the YouTube channel. They have like 1.2 million subscribers there. So
Wow.
phenomenal resource for people that want to get a home service based company.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, this is a fun one. Get a little bit of magic dust and you could sprinkle it in one area of your business. Where would you sprinkle it?
Hmm. I think leads. Leads are always what it comes down to in like an agency model. So more leads, generate more leads, cost efficient ways to generate more leads. I think that
Yeah.
would be the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's really cool. I
Yeah.
think that's a common answer I hear too,
Yeah.
especially with entrepreneurs. It makes a lot of sense. All right, well, share with our audience how they can follow you, hire you, all the things.
Yeah. So if you guys want to reach out, just look up Ryan Atkinson, CEO of Spacebar Visuals on LinkedIn. Reach out there. We would love to hear from you guys. And if you do say that you came from the show, like we'll definitely cut you some sort of deal, especially with this newsletter offering. We are going to be in the early stages of testing this. So we'll love to get you guys some free newsletter slots. So yeah, definitely reach out if you see fit.
That's great. I want to link that in the show notes for sure. For sure. All right.
Yeah.
Before we get to the last question, is there anything you want to share that we haven't talked about yet?
I think I'm all good. No, you have covered all of it. So yeah, very
Oh,
nice job.
good.
No, yeah, nothing on my end.
Well, you are super passionate. So I think we got to a lot of good stuff and have a lot of great nuggets here. But for the last question, I want to know is what's inspiring you today?
What's inspiring me today? What is inspiring me today? Hmm. Feel like I should have like a no-brainer answer for this. What's inspiring me today is honestly just like how far we've come with this and like how just honestly embracing how hard it is every single day and like just being more grateful for the opportunity to actually be doing it. I'm super grateful all the time to like do this, but being more grateful for those challenges that come up and consistently finding a way around obstacles, I think is something to be inspired by.
Yeah, for sure. That is so true. You have come a long way and sounds like you have a great team.
Yeah, it makes it better when you we're all very young. Our average age on the team is like 25 years old. So
Well,
that
me
makes it
too.
yeah. So that makes it a little bit more fun as well.
That's awesome. Oh, well, you can't ask for anything better than to have a great company with great friends who have a good time and smart.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough to
That's-
beat.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, this was awesome, Ryan. Thank you so much for sharing your story and all about Spacebar Visuals. And I just want to encourage all of our listeners who are watching and listening to the show to just come back and rewatch it because Ryan really did have a lot of great nuggets of wisdom for so many entrepreneurs. So thank you so much. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you can get a notification every time a new conversation drops, just like this one. Thanks to everyone who joined us today, and a special thank you to you, Ryan, for being with us. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Heather. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Well, until next time, we'll see you on the next show. Bye bye.